has started. In the last weeks, we've seen 6 nations sign MOUs with the movement. Since Sadhguru flagged off yesterday in London, there's been an overwhelming support across the globe for the Save Soil movement. We'd like to show you a short video now showing some of these moments.
It's a great pleasure for me, these beautiful nations, these pearls of the ocean, which are the Caribbean nations, are going for this first. Soil is not a separate subject. If we are interested in health, if we are interested in agriculture, if we are interested in the well-being of the citizens of today and the unborn child of tomorrow, attending to soil right now, attending to the soil biodiversity right now, this is a must-do thing in our life. Soil body. The only thing that we hated about you were you were on the opposite side, always. But otherwise, we couldn't help loving you. We are at a cusp of time right now. If we act now, if you bring in the policies and start implementing this, in the next 12 to 15 years, we can make a significant turnaround.
So this memorandum of understanding that we are signing, it will also bring some technical assistance to the Caribbean region.
This is a historic moment because here is the first step to turn around.
Sadhguru, welcome to the Daily Show.
Wonderful.
I know that we also are facing a soil crisis where some people are estimating that if we do nothing, in 50 years' time, we may not be able to grow anything because we may run out of soil, which, forgive my ignorance, I did not know that soil is even something that we could run out of.
The thing is, this has happened in the last 50 to 100 years of industrialized farming, that the organic content in the soil is going away because there's no replenishment.
Are you getting any signs that governments are enthusiastic to try and do something about this?
See, in the last 2 years, I've been talking to various country heads, various politicians, political parties. We have written to 730 political parties on the planet to make sure that they include soil and ecology as a part of their election manifestos, as their political philosophy. Whatever they believe in, right, left, center, whatever they are, soil is one thing which is a common factor for all of us. We're always looking at what divides us. It's time, if you don't understand the consciousness of this cosmos and stuff like that, at least you understand you come from the soil, you live off the soil, when you die you go back to the soil, that much you get it.
So this is something that you're very concerned about, and rightly so, that there's a problem with the topsoil in America.
50% of the American farmers have not seen $1 in the last 12 years. And the highest suicide rate among all professions is among the farming community in the United States. I don't want to be that one who didn't care enough to do something which matters, because right now we are consuming the soil and food that belongs to the unborn child. This is a crime against humanity.
I hear you.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
His spiritualist techniques have gained him a following of millions, and we welcome Sadhguru.
Good morning to you. In the first 15 to 18 inches of the soil, you are a consequence of that.
Yeah.
Even now, over 60% of your body is actually microbial life, only 40% is of parental genetics. So, ignoring that, thinking you can destroy the soil and live happily upon this planet is just a pipe dream, it's not going to work.
And you were interviewed by Trevor Noah, who's the darling of the left, and then you were interviewed by Joe Rogan, who's the beloved of the right recently. So is it Sadhguru who unites the left and the right, or the very important issue of…
Soil unites left, right, center, everybody.
Sadhguruji has said it's important for all, particularly leaders whose decisions affect millions of lives, to be conscious and inclusive. And this is where each one of us can help.
How are we going to make farming more respectable and more profitable as well?
When I go to the farmer, we are only talking economics. How to enhance your income. And if you want next generation to go for agriculture, this is the only solution. That he must make more money than a lawyer or a doctor or a IT professional.
Wish you a very successful, joyful, exhilarating journey.
I will take care of the acceleration and joy myself.
Yeah.
What I need is, next 100 days from 21st of March, we want the whole world to talk about soil.
We're looking at how can we involve women as leaders in climate action.
When this motorcycle journey is being flagged off, we are making a 7 or 8-year-old little girl flag it off. Unfortunately, adults have come to this place where if I see him, I will see what country he belongs to, what race is he, what religion is he, what caste is he, what creed is he, all this nonsense. But when they see a child, a girl child, I believe people's hearts will become a little more tender. If you want to say, I love you to your child, you must just say save soil, because it is a more committed way of saying I love you.
Sadhguru's gift of making a systemic issue so personal to each and one of us of this room, and the generational responsibility so relevant for everyone.
You know, it's shocking and unnerving. We need to take this up and save the soil and act more sensibly and responsibly.
It's an extraordinary campaign. It echoes what we in the Commonwealth have been aspiring to do for a number of years.
Heads.
You win the toss.
Batting or bowling? I want to go to the pavilion. Catch me a bit big.
There's your hero.
Take a picture next to Kapil.
Sadhguru, it's a great pleasure to welcome you to London.
You are probably one of the most famous Indians, and what you're doing today is really important because people like you who have a wonderful following of millions and millions of people, and what you're doing with that is so important with saving the soil. If only they could have seen this at COP26. So I think what you're doing is phenomenally important.
You must write to the Prime Minister, save soil, okay? All the children say, save soil.
हंसा मोती त्रिवेणी के रंग घाट पे चुगी रया हंसा मोती हर बज हीरा परख ले समझ पकड़ तेरी नजबूती हर बज हीरा परख ले समझ पकड़ तेरी नजबूती अरे गुरु नाम तो भज ले रे प्राणी और बात सब झूठी त्रिवेणी के रंग घाट पे चुगी रया हंसा मोती त्रिवेणी के रंग घाट पे चुगी रया हंसा मोती हर बज हीरा परख ले समझ पकड़ तेरी नजबूती हर बज हीरा परख ले समझ पकड़ तेरी नजबूती अरे गुरु नाम तो भज ले रे प्राणी और बात सब झूठी तिर्यक भेद न जाने पर तिरियाने तके मती घर की तिर्यक भेद न जाने पर तिरियाने तके मती पण तिरियारो कायर भरोसो जुता कई घर आवे मती पण तिरियारो कायर भरोसो जुता कई घर आवे मती अरे गुरु नाम तो भज ले रे प्राणी और बात सब झूठी त्रिवेणी के रंग घाट पे चुगी रया हंसा मोती त्रिवेणी के रंग घाट पे चुगी रया हंसा मोती हर बज हीरा परख ले समझ पकड़ तेरी नजबूती हर बज हीरा परख ले समझ पकड़ तेरी नजबूती अरे गुरु नाम तो भज ले रे प्राणी और बात सब झूठी सिर चोटी पांच के मार 25 वश कर ले जत जानू तरे नजबूती पांच के मार 25 वश कर ले जत जानू तरे नजबूती अरे गुरु नाम तो भज ले रे प्राणी और बात सब झूठी त्रिवेणी के रंग घाट पे चुगी रया हंसा मोती त्रिवेणी के रंग घाट पे चुगी रया हंसा मोती हर बज हीरा परख ले समझ पकड़ तेरी नजबूटी हर बज हीरा परख ले समझ पकड़ तेरी नजबूटी अरे गुरु नाम तो भज ले रे प्राणी और बात सब झूठी अरे गुरु नाम तो भज ले रे प्राणी और बात सब झूठी
We invite our distinguished guests onto the stage. To get you all ready, we thought we'd play a short video from the London flag-off event at the Excel Centre on Saturday.
This many people, 6,000 people, with today's technology available, various platforms available, if you make up your mind, you yourself can reach 3 to 4 million people. Yes or no? So now, when you say such a big yes, now the question is only, will you do it or not? Will you make it happen? In case I don't make it, you must make it happen. The young people here should stand up and make it happen. It's not about the motorcycle, it's not about the journey, it's not about the song, it is about moving people on the planet. Make it happen, huh?
रंग महल में अजब शहर में आ जा रे हंसा भाई निर्गुण राजा पे सिरगुण सेज बिछाई रंग महल में अजब शहर में आ जा रे हंसा भाई निर्गुण राजा पे सिरगुण सेज बिछाई हाँ हाँ सिरगुण सेज बिछाई निर्गुण राजा पे सिरगुण सेज बिछाई हाँ हाँ सिरगुण सेज बिछाई हारो रंग महल में है अजब शहर में है आ जा रे हंसा भाई निर्गुण राजा पे सिरगुण सेज बिछाई राजा पे फिर गुण सेज बिछाई। अरे हर भाई अमृत प्याला भर पायो नूगरा से भ्रांत कसी। हारो रंग महल में अजब शहर में आ जा रे हंसा भाई निर्गुण राजा पे फिर गुण सेज बिछाई। हाँ हाँ फिर गुण सेज बिछाई। रंग महल में है अजब शहर में है आ जा रे हंसा भाई निर्गुण राजा पे फिर गुण सेज बिछाई। शहर में आ जा रे हंसा भाई निर्गुण राजा पे फिर गुण सेज बिछाई। फिर गुण सेज बिछाई। हारो रंग महल में है अजब शहर में है आ जा रे हंसा भाई निर्गुण राजा पे फिर गुण सेज बिछाई। शहर में आ जा रे हंसा भाई निर्गुण राजा पे फिर गुण सेज बिछाई। La 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 le le le.
kids are gonna come along. Good soil is the way. Not many a chance we got, just one that comes away. Let's come together and sing along. Say lay 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 lay, la la 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 lay 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 lay, la lay 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 lay. We want insect bees and bees. We want all of them to stay. For a healthy soil and a healthy life. Say lay 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 lay, la la lay 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 lay, la la lay 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 lay, la la lay 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 lay, la lay 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 lay, la 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 lay 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 lay. We gotta be a shade on naturally made. La lay 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 lay, la 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 lay 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 lay. Green canopy and shade, all naturally made. Gotta leave it for our kids, can't take it all away. With soil is what we got, with soil is gotta stay. Let's come together and sing along. Say lay 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 lay, la la lay 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 lay, la la lay 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 lay, la la lay 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 lay, la lay 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 lay, la 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 lay 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 lay. Life is plenty and sweet today, it's gotta stay the way. For all the kids that are gonna come along, good soil is the way. Not many a chance we got, just one that comes away. Let's come together and sing along. Say lay 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 lay, la la 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 lay 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 lay, la la lay 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 lay, la la lay 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 lay, la la lay 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 lay, la lay 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 lay. We want insect birds and bees, we want all of them to stay. For a healthy soil and a healthy life. Say lay 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 lay, la la lay 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 lay, la la lay 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 lay, la la lay 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 lay, la lay 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 lay, la 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 lay 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 lay, la 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 lay 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 lay. La la lay 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 lay, la la lay 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 lay, la lay 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 lay.
Give it up for the sounds of Isha.
Yeah, as we say in Dutch, de sfeer zit er al goed in. It's an honor for me to stand here. And I will first do this in Dutch. Heb je er een beetje zin in? Nee. Ik snap, het is even een tijdje geleden dat we events hebben gehad. Dus ik probeer het gewoon nog een keer. En ik zal het ook in Engels doen voor de mensen die daar behoefte aan hebben. Are we looking forward? Okay. Welcome on this, I can say conscious planet, a small little planet. We're right here. I see a lot of green, which is always a good sign. This is the Save Soul event in Amsterdam. And like I said, I'm delightful to be here. I'm Giel. I'm like a radio guy, and I'm hosting this podcast about, everything we're going to talk about this afternoon. It's called Koekeroe, not with Sadhguru, of course, but Koekeroe. And before I will welcome our guests, I'd like to highlight the significance of this event, why it is so important. And I think it's good, that's what I really like about this whole organization, that it's like a positive thing. It's not like, doomsday calling, the world's going to an end. Well, actually it is, but it's like a rallying call. There's like a big window of opportunity, and with everything we do, what we eat, what we drink, maybe even what we think, we can change and we can make it a better way. And that's why, well, the founding father of this organization, Sadhguru, well, you see it over here, like in 100 days, he will be on his motorcycle and he will get to, well, meet global leaders, influencers, citizens all over the world, just to raise awareness and, well, to restore a bit of the soil health. So my question is, are we with him? Are we with him? Yeah! Hallelujah! So, now is the time. Before I go further on and introduce a small video, I'd like to say this whole event is supported by the United Nations Convention to combat desertification, the World Food Programme, the International Union for Conservation of Nature, and a lot of other great organizations. And it's our aim to inspire and to invite people and unite people, like 3.5 billion people, because like I said, every action will affect in a good way or in a bad way. This is a fun fact. A teaspoon of soil contains more organisms than there are humans living on Earth. A teaspoon, yeah? But on the other hand, it's, well, will take about 500 years to actually form 1 inch of that topsoil. That's heavy to know, but it is. So, let us now watch a video that explains the science of the purpose of the campaign, Save Soil.
We are talking about climate change, carbon emissions, and global warming and various other aspects, but we are not addressing soil. Soil is the habitat upon which zillions of lives thrive. Once there is no richness in soil, then you have forsaken the planet in many ways. Every responsible scientist in the world and the UN agencies are clearly saying we have only 80 to 100 harvests left. That means approximately 45 to 50 years of agricultural soil left on the planet. By 2045, we will be producing 40% less food than what we are producing right now, and our populations will be 9.3 billion people. The food shortages that could manifest in the next 25 years, the consequences of that is unimaginable. Civil wars will unfold across the world once there is food shortage. What we are facing now is soil extinction. Why is soil becoming extinct? Where is it going away? What is happening to our soil? We must understand, if you add organic content to sand, sand will turn into soil. If you remove all organic content from the soil, soil will become sand. In normal agricultural soil, the minimum organic content should be between 3 to 6%. The most minimum is 3%. At least this minimum to keep the soil alive, to keep the soil as living soil is a must. Agricultural soils across the world, the depletion is so heavy. In most countries, more than 50% of the topsoil is already gone in the last 100 years. The nutrient levels have dropped significantly. The level of micronutrients you would get from your food in early 20th century to what you are getting from the same food now has dropped 90%. If you ate 1 orange in 1920s, what you got from it, now in 2020, if you have to get the same, you will have to eat 8 oranges. This is what we have done to our food.
Soil is the biggest ecosystem on the planet, and so few people know anything about it. 1 teaspoon of healthy soil probably contains more microbes than there are people on Earth.
The microbial life in the first 12 to 15 inches of topsoil is the basis of our existence. It is this magic beneath our feet which has produced the life that we are. This first 12 to 15 inches of soil is the basis of life for 87% of life on this planet, including you and me.
We have to begin to recognize that
what we call our soil, Mother Earth, is a living organism.
Open soils, ripped open by ploughing, open to sunlight, is the basis of destruction of microbial life. So the focus should be on agriculture, the focus should be on seeing that land is under shade as much as possible, some kind of shade, grasses, herbs, bushes, trees. Conscious Planet is launching Save Soil movement to bring about a policy change to regenerate soil. As a part of this, I'm 65 and I'm riding 30,000 kilometers, a lone motorcycle journey, 30,000 kilometers across 24 nations to activate support from the citizenry to assure the governments long-term investments will be appreciated. So it's extremely important that soil regeneration is enshrined in the policy of every government on the planet. We must change the narrative on the planet that soil is a wealth, a legacy we have received from previous generations, and we have to pass it on as living soil for future generations. We are in a cusp of time. If you do the right things now, in the next 15 to 25 years, we can significantly turn this situation around and regenerate the soil. But if we allow this to progress like this for another 30 to 40 years, after 40 years if we attempt this, then it could take 150 to 200 years because that much loss of biodiversity would have happened. From 21st of March for 100 days, the whole world, every human being on the planet should talk soil. So we must hear the word soil, save soil everywhere to see that the narrative on the planet changes towards the most vital aspect of our life, the soil. Each one of you should reach as many people as you can to make this happen. Many global leaders and influencers are already participating in the movement. Be a part of this and let us make it happen.
From my part, as much as I can contribute.
We're going to save the soil. Do your part.
And saving the soils.
Our future, our children's future, and our planet's future depend on it.
Save the soil.
We know what we must do, so let's make it happen.
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 Let's make it happen. Before I'm going to introduce the two guests, we now warmly invite Her Excellency Mrs. Carice Sandhu, the Ambassador Designate of India to the Netherlands, to the stage. Mrs. Carice Sandhu.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is a pleasure for me to welcome Sadhguru to the Netherlands. As we have seen in this very inspiring video, he is here on a very special mission, which is to raise awareness about soil degradation, about the fact that soil is a very valuable resource that we need to nurture and take care of. He's planning to take this message to 25 countries across 30,000 kilometers, and we are very happy that he has also brought this message to the Netherlands because environment and sustainability are very high on the agenda in the Netherlands as well as in India. It is a global challenge for all of us to ensure that we protect our environment, not only for ourselves, but also for our future generation. And therefore, I feel that this is a very relevant and a very significant message that he's bringing to all of us. I would like to wish him all the very best for this endeavor, for his journey. And I thank him for being here. I hope you all enjoy the evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for being here. Okay, well, I will do it short because the next two people I hardly have to introduce because you know them all. Well, I would like to say, because I didn't know that, she is the ambassador for the Worldwide Fund for Nature. We all know her as an actress, as a singer maybe. For me as a radio guy, I'd like to share with you that she's also a radio host. Give it up for Carice van Houten. Gaat goed, Carice?
Ik ben heel zenuwachtig,
ja, dat
maar
weet
het gaat heel goed. Het gaat goed. Ik ben in een goede presence.
Oké. Maar ik vind wel, want mensen kunnen ook denken, oh ja, Carice die wil even shine of wat dan ook. Maar ik weet, jaren geleden, years ago, we talked about this thing you did in, I think it was Rwanda with the gorillas. That, what I would like to say is you have a lot with nature.
Yes, although I'm scared of a lot of animals. I shouldn't say that. I love animals, but I also can be a little scared. But I went to Rwanda and saw the mountain gorillas there, which I thought was I was a bit scared at the beginning. And then when I saw them, the tears just were streaming down my face because I was like, wait a minute, they were here way before me. I'm just visiting. And it was such a profound feeling to just be a guest in their natural environment, and yeah.
Well, good to know. You have a lot with nature. Carice van Houten, thanks for being here. And yeah, the other guest, it's, like I said before, an absolute honor to invite, well, the one that needs no introduction. I hope that he will love to share some of his pearls of wisdom. I know we all saw a lot of YouTube videos and other content of this great guy. Give it up for Sadhguru. I have to say, you look a bit like a rock star, or maybe a rapper or something. That's with but those are the glasses, of course. Yeah, the motorcycle glasses.
That's not good.
That was not me.
You're okay. You're okay. I'm gonna come even closer. I find it so far. We're so far away from each other. But I'm afraid that it will go make that sound again. I don't know if it was me. Okay, are we starting? I'm an interviewer now. Okay, I've never done this in my life. I haven't followed you for a long time, I have to say. I just was recent, like a few months ago, I stumbled upon you and you said something about children and it really resonated with me, and then I started following you. And then I got a message saying, do you want to come here? And I immediately said yes, despite my anxiety for big groups and having not been outside for
That's
2
why
years.
we black them out, you can't see them.
Yeah, but that trick from they're all naked, that doesn't really work for me. Yeah. Anyway, so I immediately said yes. So basically I'm saying to you, I'm at your service. Whatever you want me to do, I'll do. Because I love this initiative. I think it's an amazing and very touching that you do this this enormous journey to save our home. And I'm very grateful to you for that. I guess as a mother of a 5-year-old, I don't want to be the generation later on in a few 20 years where he says, why the fuck didn't you do anything? While it was still possible? I don't want to be that person.
He will if you don't do anything.
So what do you say to these parents that have that have to deal with that feeling of what can we do now? What can we, not only for mothers and fathers, but
it's not about dealing with that question when it comes after 25 years. No matter what you say, it could be too late. It's about having the sense to wake up now and do what's needed. When I say what's needed, all the data in the world, all the responsible scientists in the world are clearly pointing out that we are heading in this direction where in a maximum of 60–65 years, we could barely have agricultural soil left if we don't do anything right now. And by 2045, every responsible scientist is saying that we will be producing 40% less food than what we have right now. And our populations will be well over 9 billion. So, that's not a world you want to live in. That's not a world where you want to leave your boy. Because I want you to just imagine, in this city, let's take this city, it's peaceful and nice right now. If 40% of the people have not eaten in this city, do you think they will sit in some corners and quietly die? They're going to rip your civilization apart. Your civilization will evaporate in 3 days of food shortages. Not just civilization, your very humanity will evaporate in 3 days of food shortages because the chaos that it'll create will be such. This is not the first time, it's happened in the past. It has happened in the past. Famines have happened, other things have happened. When food shortages have happened, I'm not saying this just to shock you, but I'm saying this because people are asking me, Sadhguru, why at this stage in your life are you attempting something like this? 30,000 kilometers, have you lost your mind? Why I'm doing this is, see, if you look at the world, in the last 25 years, the area of deserts on the planet has increased by 10%. 10% more desert on the planet. The northern African deserts are about the same or larger than 3 times the Indian subcontinent. That's not a small bit of area, all right? And it's spreading. In the last 20 years, in India, 300,000 farmers have committed suicide. In United States, one profession which commits maximum number of suicides is the farming community. In the last 12 years, 50% of American farmers have not seen a single dollar of profit. Whole families are shooting themselves up. So, what else needs to happen for people to wake up? What else? Just about 70–80 years ago, almost every part of the world has seen terrible famines. Famine is not fun. A bomb is better, believe me, at least it takes you. Famine is a slow fade of life. In 3 to 4 months, people die horrendous lives. In 1942, Bengal famine in India took 3.2 million people in 4 months. Their suffering, unfortunately, cannot be recorded and has not been anyway. There is no way you can record the suffering of human beings who see their children, their parents, and everybody who's little weaker than them starts dying one by one and you're also fading away. And there have been situations in the world, in many parts of the world, where people have chopped off their children's arms and eaten it just to survive. I'm not saying these terrible things to scare you or to talk about a doomsday, world is going to end. No, the world is not going to end. The problem is, our populations are increasing and if the food production decreases, it'll be a slow fade. We always think it'll happen to somebody else, unfortunately. No, it can happen to any one of us. Right now, the nutrient loss in the food is such, like World Health Organization is predicting that there will be a mental illness pandemic, I'm sorry. What this means is, a coronavirus pandemic means if there is one person here who's got the infection, all the people sitting in this hall may get it. That's what it means. That's a pandemic. Mental illness pandemic means what? That means every one of us who's sitting in this room are susceptible to some kind of mental illness. Why is that happening? One of the biggest things is lack of micronutrients in the food. We are not eating the right kind of food. There is no strength in the life that we are. We may have muscles, that is not the strength. The essential life must be strong. When I say essential life, the life that you are is only a consequence or a reflection of what's happening in the soil. Right now, the biggest crime that we are committing is, I've been talking to a whole lot of agriculture ministries in the world. What I see is, even today, developed nations are still talking about soil like it's some inert material, and they're going to add this chemical and that chemical and fix it. That's not the way it is. It is a living system. It is the largest living system on the planet, not just the planet, in the known universe that we know. This is the largest living system, which is the soil. It is so complex. What is happening there, you are just a small representation of that. Even in terms of evolution, you are an outcome of what has happened in the soil. Well, will we get it now? Or will we get it when they bury us? That's the only option we have. If we get it now, such horrendous situations can be avoided. Will we be remembered or will we become that generation which turned back from the brink of a disaster? Or will we be that generation which slept through and fell over? This is the choice we have. I would like to see that we are that generation who's responsible enough, alert enough, who will prevent a disaster, not cry and grieve after a disaster.
But how can we do that? What can we personally do? Like, what can I go home and what do I do?
See, you go home and in the night you start fixing your garden instead of your hair.
And also, there's… people are more worried about revitalizing their hair than revitalizing the soil.
That is true.
How can we wake them up? What needs to be done where everyone's so in their own bubble and worried about anything else?
Somebody was telling me statistics that the amount that is spent on neurosciences, including brain surgeries and all that, it seems the hair care products are about 5 times more than that.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
Oh. But, okay.
Hair, not the head, that's a policy.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you go and fix your garden today, that's very cute of you, we appreciate that. But that's not the solution. Because the problem is in the agricultural lands. 71% of the world's land is under agriculture. That's where the problem is. Why did the problem happen? How did it happen? See, if you take sand and put organic content into it, it will become soil. If you take soil and remove all the organic content, it will become sand. So, this is all we have done. We've removed all the organic content in the last 25 to 40 years, in some countries up to 100 years, but largely in the last 40 years is the maximum damage. Why did this happen? Every farmer, 50 years ago, let's say, every farmer knew he needs to have some animals on the farm, he needs some trees and other vegetation, and he understood that without the help of the soil, he cannot really grow a crop. But somewhere along the way, somebody produced a magic powder. Today you call it fertilizer, it was magic powder at one time. Somebody brought this, a bag of it, and gave it to you. You threw it in your land, and suddenly your crops burst forth like that. In many places, the production increased 3 times over. 300% increase in yield happened in many places. Because the land was already rich, a little bit of infusion of fertilizer made it like that. But since then, we forgot that the organisms in the soil need organic content, and top of it, if you add some fertilizer, you will get yield. Like you're eating good food and top of it maybe 1 or 2 vitamin pills, this, that, iron, calcium, something. If it's lacking, you take it. But now because of these pills or tablets you felt really great tomorrow morning and you decided from tomorrow you will not eat food, instead of 2, you will eat 200 tablets and you will be doing great. This is exactly what we have done to the land. We put some fertilizer and it produced results for us. Then we forgot, it can only be doctored application. It cannot be wholesale application of fertilizer. Because of this, the the cost of production has been going up and going up. Almost nowhere is farmer making any money. Because he's not making that, younger generation is not going for that. We've done some kind of a survey in India. Not even 2% of the farmers want their children to go into farming. Right now it's over 60%, not even 2% want that. See, farming means you have learned the magic of turning mud into food. It's not a small thing. If there are people here, young people, many of them with all kinds of qualifications, let us say you are an MBA, or let's say you're an MSc in agriculture, you come, I'll give you 10 acres of fertile soil to you, very fertile land. 5 different crops, just grow it and show it to me. You will see you will be a disaster, because farming is not like that. It needs meticulous application, there's an intrinsic knowledge about it. So in another 20-25 years when this generation passes, who has the knowledge to grow food and where are we going to go? So this is happening across the world, but in some places very dramatically, in other places maybe not so much. So soil is an important part because right now people are thinking of various aspects, thinking that many problems are there. Yes, there are problems. Yes, there are issues of fossil fuel. Yes, there is pollution, all this is there. But soil is the main link in this carbon cycle of life. What we call as life is essentially the cycle of carbon. But today there are too many, online scientists or WhatsApp scientists, you know?
What, sorry?
WhatsApp scientists.
Yeah.
They read 2 messages and they become scientists. They're all… if you say carbon, they'll say, oh, poison, poison. We are carbon, we are all carbon life here. Everything that you know, from a flower to fruit to man to woman to everything, everything is carbon, isn't it? So this is a carbon life. What you call as life on this planet is a cycle of carbon. In this cycle or in this chain, soil is the vital link, the largest and the most vital link. That link is wearing thin. If it breaks in some way, if it becomes too weak, then the rest of the chain will start crumbling down. Every year, according to UNFAO, every year 27,000 species, I don't think it registers, 27,000 species of microbial life, both beneath the soil and above, are going extinct. 27,000 species. Everybody is very clear, in 25 to 35 years or 25 to 40 years, let's say, it will come to a place where you cannot regenerate soil. So, we need to act now as a generation. This is a challenge, an opportunity and a privilege that we could turn the world around as a generation. Next and the next one will not be able to if we don't do it now. So first and foremost thing is to enshrine soil and ecological regeneration as a part of every nation's policy. Why I'm insisting on the policy is, see, today you will go and fix your garden, I'm sure. You fixed your garden, I fixed my land, somebody else did wonderful things. But this is good, it's very nice, but this is not a solution. Because this is what has happened, the previous generations had done farming very well, but in the last one generation, we've ripped it apart. So if you do it well, what is the guarantee the next generation will do it well? This is why it has to go into the policy, that this is the way to do it. Now, in this city, I don't know the laws of your city, but let me put it this way. Suppose you have 25,000 square feet of land. You cannot build 25,000 square foot building. They will allow you to build 15 or 20,000 square feet. You have to allow some space for yourself, your neighbor, something. But in Europe, I don't know how the city is, but if you go to the old cities in Europe, you will see houses are built in such a way that there is no concept of a window, only one door, in and out through the same door. Because at that time there were no rules, everybody built whichever way they wanted, you can't change it now. So now there are laws, if you build anything more than you should build, the authorities will come and demolish it. But suppose you have 100 acres of land, you plow every inch of it, turn it into a desert in the next 15 years' time, nobody will ask you, why have you done this? Because there's no law. So we need to understand, soil is not our property. Soil is a legacy that's come to us in its living condition. We must pass it on to that little boy of yours in a living condition. So the little girl is clapping and clapping, you better be careful. You can affect policy change in this country, that's why I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's why I'm here.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
So
do it. A question just that I've had anyway, like, it's a good… I mean, okay, I'm not a vegan. I should be, because I have a chicken-egg intolerance. But then there's a whole different problem with vegan lifestyle, right? Not vegan lifestyle, but the farming of the soy and all that stuff. What's your opinion about that?
See, at this point, I'm pitching for soil policy in every nation. I am not here to tell anybody what they should eat, because people can eat what is best for them. Now, people might have, or nations or cultures might have arrived at a certain type of food because at a certain time, survival was the issue. When survival was the issue, we made certain choices. Now that survival is not the issue, definitely we should make wiser and better choices. When I say wiser and better, this is not my recommendation, it's for you to experiment. See, food means it is the fuel for this body. So if you eat something, it should energize you. You take your car to the gas station, or I take my motorcycle to the gas station, if I fill the tank, the motorcycle doesn't become lazy, boom, it'll go. But right now you're putting that kind of food into the system, if you put it, now you have to put coffee, tea, coke, something, one poison after another to get it going. So there must be something not great about the food that we're eating. So how to eat? What is the ideal food for this body? See, food is not a philosophy, food is not a religion, food is a practical solution for this body. In my way of looking at life, see, once you have come here as a human being, well, survival is not good enough. When survival is in question, well, it's a big deal. But once survival is taken care of, it doesn't mean anything. Something more needs to happen. Maybe people have never figured out what is that something more, but something more and something more needs to happen. In search of that something more, we're turning the planet upside down. That's all that's happening. In pursuit of human happiness and well-being, this is happening. So, this aspect of what should I eat should never be approached philosophically or through religious beliefs. You must experiment and see what makes you very agile and alert. Because once you come as a human being, there are only two things to your life. One thing is the profoundness and pleasantness of experience. If you sit here, how profound is your experience and how pleasant is your experience? Are you guys, you okay? But when it comes to activity in the world, how impactful are you? That is the concern for everybody. Your profoundness of experience and impactfulness of activity, this is all you have with your life. You may think, no, I want to build a family, I want to build my business, I want to build wealth, I want to build this, that, I want to do this and that. All these are efforts to create profoundness of experience. Yes? Why? Why there is so much population? Why there are so many children being born? It is the most painful thing to do in life. But still why children are born is profoundness of experience, isn't it? Even though it is horrendously painful, that is how important it is for a human being to experience something more. Why so many people are getting drunk? Why so many people, even if it kills them, they are on drugs? Profoundness of experience. Why people are fasting, going to the temple, going to this place, going to that place, however difficult it is? Profoundness of experience. A human being is always in search of little more life, in some way. Whichever way, if you know body, you're trying through your body. If you know mind, you're trying through your mind. If you know emotions, you're trying through that. If you know the world, you're trying through that. But every human being, knowingly or unknowingly, in pursuit of a more profound experience, something more needs to happen, isn't it? Now, whatever can happen ever in this life for you, it can only happen within you, isn't it? Pain and pleasure happens within you. Joy and misery happens within you. Agony and ecstasy happens within you. But we are trying to squeeze it from outside world. This whole process is like this. See, if our body becomes pleasant, we call this health. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it pleasure. If our mind becomes pleasant, we call this peace. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it joy. If our emotions become pleasant, we call this love. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it compassion. If our very life energies become pleasant, we call this bliss. If it becomes very pleasant, we call it ecstasy. If our surroundings become pleasant, we call it success. Only to make your surroundings pleasant, you need the cooperation of the world and many other forces which are functioning in it. For pleasantness of body, pleasantness of mind, pleasantness of emotion and energy, it's 100% your business. Hello?
I'm overwhelmed by wisdom, sorry.
So, in pursuit of pleasantness, when I say pleasantness, you can call it happiness, joy, this, that, any amount of vocabulary, essentially you want your life to be pleasant. Now, many people believe life can only be good after they die. That may be true for others, depending on who you are. But I have some terrible jokes I won't tell today.
I have a very terrible joke as well, but I'll tell you later.
I'm on a soil mission, so I won't tell jokes. So, lot of people believe, it's like this. I'm sorry? Hello, sir, please. Hello? Hello, please, relax. It's okay. When people manufacture bombs and bullets, they have to, unfortunately, you must know this. This is why I said, you want to be a regretful generation or you want to be a responsible generation. We allow… You think all the nations which are manufacturing bombs and bullets and guns endlessly, it's the largest industry on the planet. When they're doing all this, you think they were doing it for entertainment? Hello? For entertainment, just to store it up and show it to you, they were preparing all these missiles and bombs. They are going to use it somewhere, one or the other. They are going to use it. After World War II, which was such a horrendous experience in this part of the world, everybody felt or everybody believed with the League of Nations and United Nations, never again there's going to be another war. Since then, have we stopped one day? We've been fighting and fighting somewhere. Everybody has a good reason to fight. We thought when we crossed 2000, we thought 21st century is a new century, technological century, knowledge century, here we are not going to fight. How many wars since 2000? How many nations have been destroyed? Well, you need to understand, if you do not address it when it is building up, after it breaks loose, what to do? What do you do? You can sit here and shout, you can sit here and cry, but it's not going to stop. We as human beings, why so much destructive power is being built on the planet? Is this needed for us? Should we not address this in our nations, wherever we are? Well, it may not be in your power to suddenly diffuse it, but have we even thought about it? Are we thinking about it? Are we looking how at least in the next 50 years or 100 years such things don't happen? No, we're building it up and building it up. First thing is a moratorium or a ban on using new technologies for war efforts. At least that you must stop, isn't it? Please, don't do this. So, I know death and destruction is not a pleasure for anybody. It doesn't matter for who it happens. But this is what I'm telling you. You need to understand, wars since 2000, please count how many wars. You can count, there's a lot of counting to do. But I want you to remind you, in Africa in the last 50 years there have been 30 major wars. Out of these 30 wars, 27 of them were fought to acquire fertile soils, fertile lands. And now you're talking about Ukraine being your breadbasket. This is what needs to change in the world. Food needs to grow where people are. It's very, very important. Otherwise, in one way or the other, it'll be exploited at some point. Above all, the most important thing is, right now as a generation of people, we are largely, whatever kind of democracies, we are some kind of democracy across the world largely. What this means is, people are the power. It has not happened. These soil aspects have not happened. Yesterday or day before when I was in London, Lord Billy was saying, there's a candid video of him speaking, he was saying that he was at the COP26 for 1.5 weeks out of 2 weeks and addressed more than 30 gatherings there, 30 events he spoke. He said, I did not hear the word soil in COP26. This is his statement. Why are we avoiding it? When 40% of the global warming is because of soil, why is it we are not talking about it? All of you young people must research and see why. There must be some good reason, isn't it? Why are we avoiding it? But at the same time, in the last 2 years, I've been talking to various scientists across the world, decision makers, officers in various positions, agriculture ministries. Just everybody knows soil is the serious problem on the planet. And largely everybody knows what is the direction of the solution. They may not know the details of the solution, but most people know the direction in which it needs to go. So when I look at it, 2 years, wherever I speak, everybody says, yes, Sadhguru, this is the most important, Sadhguru, this needs to happen, please do it, Sadhguru. And I just thought, everybody knew what's the problem and everybody knows generally what is the solution. It looks like they were just waiting for an idiot to bell the cat, and here I am.
You've been saying this for many, 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 many years.
25 years I've been speaking non-stop about this. So
I guess that's the good thing about technology and internet, and
yes, that is a good
we can
thing.
use that.
People keep asking me, Sadhguru, why? Why are you doing this now? Why such a risk you're taking for yourself? Yes, people were asking me, Sadhguru, why are you wearing sunglasses inside? I said, this is my invitation to the sun. Through northern Europe, I will wear sunglasses through day and night, so that sun is out every day. Because I see roads and two wheels are not friends. Yes they're not, they don't go well. So, this is that important. Enormous destruction has happened, deserts are spreading, everything is happening. People are always trying to divert it to something else. I am not saying people of Ukraine are not important. Every people are important, whatever kind they are, wherever they are. Every life is important, every grasshopper is important, every earthworm is important. Every life, every bird, every plant, every microbial life is important. So important that without us, the planet will flourish. Without them, there cannot be anything growing here, all right? I must tell you this, 80% of the biomass insects have disappeared in the last 70 years, 80%, okay? 67% of vertebrate life on this planet is gone. Over 92% of freshwater life is gone. What is our plan? What is our plan? We need to understand this. We may be top of the pile in terms of evolutionary development, but if all of us disappear, planet will flourish. If all of them disappear, planet will wither away in many ways. So, I was flying a helicopter in Tennessee, a small little craft, which is not the proper ones. So, weather was good and so we pulled off the doors. The small helicopters, you can take off the doors. We took off the doors and we went up. Then, most of you know this, every 1,000 feet that you go, a drop of, 1 degree centigrade will happen. We just at like 5,500 feet. But we got a cold, a cold wave kind of thing, and suddenly it was freezing cold up there. So even holding the controls was tough, so we thought we'll come down. As we're coming down, we were just talking, suppose the sun doesn't come up tomorrow, what'll happen? And then we started guessing, maybe in another 6 months this will happen, that will happen, maybe you don't have to make ice creams, you can make it anywhere on the street, and some nonsense, we were talking like this. Then I came down and I just looked it up. And it says, in 18 hours, if sun doesn't come up or sun disappears, in 18 hours' time, almost everything that you know as life on this planet will be gone. 18 hours. And I just looked this further. If all the insects die on this planet, in about 2.5 to 4 years, all life on the planet will go away. If all the worms disappear, In 1.5 to 2 years' time, all the life on this planet will go away. Worms. If the microbial life goes away completely, planet will end within a few hours. Because 60% of your body itself is microbes, only 40% is, parental genetics. I will tell this to your boy. Because then he will say, Mom, you're just 20%, you don't tell me all this. So, this very body is full of microbial life. Today we understand without gut microbiome, you cannot even digest the food that you eat. So, do not argue about, do I become vegan, do I eat this, do I eat that? It is just that, we just have to pay attention to the body. The problem is right now there's no attention, there is too much information. Everybody knows what is the Galaxy Z63 doing right now, because it came in the WhatsApp, all right? But they don't know what's happening here. So, it's not just about the body, it goes further, but at least on the level of your body, if you pay attention, if you put something into your body, if you pay attention, you will know what it does to you. See, food appears in front of me. If I just place my hands over it, I'll decide whether to eat it or not, because I know whether this should go into me or not go into me. So one aspect of his health and well-being. But the most important aspect of this for a yogi is perception. Because only what you perceive, you know. If you do not perceive, all you can do is imagine, information, imagination. This will not take you anywhere. You need to perceive life more profoundly than what you're perceiving right now. Only then your life will become more profound. If you have a lot of information, your life will not become more profound. It's happening right now. Tell me, on this planet right now, educated people are more eco-friendly in the way they live, or uneducated and illiterate people are more eco-friendly?
You're asking me?
We are the ones who are talking to each other.
No. Fair enough.
It's okay.
Fair enough.
No. I said it's okay, I'm just…
Okay. Is this a sign? Yeah, Saved by the Bell. I'm sure there's other people in this room that have very intelligent questions. Should we invite them? Yeah?
You're the boss, I
Okay,
said.
I'm the boss. Does anyone have an intelligent question, or just a question at all? Yeah, this man in front.
Please take the microphone. Please, a little closer. What?
Global warming is happening. We know how much more important it has been that we water the soil that you're so passionate about and we're sharing here. But why is that not talked about as much, and how can we incorporate it to do even better? Thank you.
So, is water, air important? Yes. See, it's like this. If you don't eat for 8 to 10 days, you could start dying. If you do not drink water for 6 to 7 days, you could be dead. But if you do not breathe for 2 minutes, you could be dead. Hello? So what is the priority? Air, water, soil. Food is soil, water is water, air is breath. But it's very wrong to look at them separately, because it's one cycle. one tremendous life energy happening there. We are looking at everything keyhole, water, air, this, that. Let me tell you this. The soil on the planet can hold 8 times or 800% more water than all the rivers on the planet put together. That's where it should be. If the organic content is very rich, that's where it would be. See, if you go into a rainforest or any thick jungle, not with any implement, just with your fingers, if you dig like this, 3-4 inches, it'll be damp. That means it's humid, there is water in the soil. That's how it should be and that's all your crop needs. But now we are irrigating. To what extent? I do not know the stats about Netherlands, but let me tell you the stats about India. India is using 84% of its groundwater and every other surface water we have for agriculture to feed 1.3 billion people. But if you enhance the organic content in the soil, let's say to 8 to 10%, your irrigation requirement would come down to 30% of what we are using right now. That is, see that needs… the little girl says, if you're using 100 liters of water, it can come down to 30 liters. Or if you raise the organic content to 12 to 15%, your irrigation requirement will come down to 10 to 15%. That is, 100 liters could be shrunk to 15 liters. Anyway, water is not a problem because water is not gone anywhere. 1,000 years ago, how much water we had in this planet, we still have. Or do you think some water escaped to Mars or Venus or something? Nothing like that happened. Water is still here. It is just may not be where you need it right now. It's somewhere else. Because water can exist in all the 3 states. It is here, there, somewhere else, not where you want. Or you're in the wrong place. Any one of them. So, this has been going on, in India there is a whole movement of people wanting to divert the Indian rivers and connect them and grow paddy and rice everywhere they want. Sugarcane, paddy, they want to grow wherever they want. I have been warning them for last 30 years. This government is little listening and controlled that aspiration, otherwise many governments won elections based on that promise. We will bring Ganga water to Kaveri. That means that which is flowing in the northern India, we'll bring that water all the way to southern India. You can grow as much rice as you want and reproduce as much as you want. Well, I will tell you, in a tropical country where average temperature in India is around 33 degrees, at that temperature, if water travels 100 kilometers, the evaporation rate is over 70%. And tropical lands are thirsty. The leakages in the canals will take away the rest. And if you link these rivers are so fantastic, they may be just 50 kilometers away, but their whole ecosystem is different. The animal life in that is very different. There are dolphins in our rivers, freshwater dolphins, okay? Nowhere else in the world probably it's there, but that's only in one river. If you connect that river and this river, don't think dolphins will be everywhere. There'll be no dolphin left. That's what will happen. So, and above all, there is… because India is a peninsula like this, these rivers should flow into the ocean, at least substantial quantity. Because if I say 50%, nobody will listen. Just I'm requesting at least 25% must flow to the ocean. I have been talking to various chief ministers, most of our rivers are east-flowing. West-flowing rivers, because the mountains are close to the western border or western coast, they quickly get into the ocean, you can't do anything about it, most of them, they just get into the ocean quickly. The east-flowing rivers flow across the country. Now every state wants to use the water, they're openly saying, leaders openly saying, I will make sure not a drop is wasted in the ocean. Well, water going into the ocean is not a waste because in this peninsula there is a buffer of mixed water, of fresh water and marine water. That buffer is very vital. Wherever we have lost that buffer, it has already happened, marine ingress happens, that is, salt water will enter the land. Looking at the terrain and the rock structure of India, up to 100 kilometers inside it can enter. Our coastline is 7,400 kilometers. 100 kilometers inside means 7,000 into 100, 7,400 into 100, literally 1/3 of the nation will be lost to marine ingress. But we want to use every drop of water because stupid human beings believe the whole world is about them.
Are there any other questions? Raise your hands and there will be a microphone near you.
We have a right to live.
Yeah.
So does every life on the planet has a right to live. I'm sorry.
Thank you very much for your talk, Sadhguru. We had a chance to meet this morning.
Sadhguru.
I very much agree for what you're saying. I would like to add something. In the Netherlands we have 100 billion animals, and we feed these animals with grains which grow on fertile land. We should use this land for growing crops for humans. Do you agree with that, that we can improve the food situation on the earth when we use arable land for growing crops for people and have animals on land, marginal grounds or rest feed?
You're a lawmaker and thank you for being here. And if I say what you're wanting me to say, all the steak eaters will make a steak out of me. Anyway, you know, I'm not known to back off from troubles, so he's getting me into it.
But well, he said what he wants. Thank you so much. Is there another question
No,
maybe?
I'll answer that question.
You want to still answer? Oh, sorry. Do you want to ask something?
No, I will… I said I don't back off from troubles, this is why I am. So right now, 51 million square kilometers of land is being used for agriculture on this planet, out of which 40 million square kilometers of land is used to raise animals and their feed. Please, does it sink into you? 77% of the agricultural lands are mainly used either for raising animals or their feed, okay? And leave the ecological concerns, every doctor in the world is telling you with red meat, your healthcare bills are as high as they are mainly because of what you're eating. The headquarters for most of your chronic ailments is in your stomach. Yes. It's also slowly shifting to your head, that's another matter. But most of the ailments are because of the way we are eating and what we are eating. So, one aspect of this is, you don't have an animal at home and you are not going to slaughter it and eat fresh meat. It is processed, it's kept somewhere, 1 week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, many of them 3 months later you're eating. This will cause enormous amount of trouble for the human body. I will not go into the details, gory details of that, but some other day I'll come here just to talk about food. That day we will do that. But I'm saying, if everybody consumes 50% less meat consumption, 20 million square kilometers of land will be free. If at least 40% of your diet comes from trees, Well, in temperate climates, you have only fruits. In tropical climates, we have both fruits and vegetables which come from trees. So if 40% of your diet comes from trees, you will see your healthcare bills will come down minimum by 50 to 70% of the nation and of the individual. Right now, for example, the most affluent nation on the planet, United States, spends 3.2 or 3.25 trillion dollars as healthcare for 350 million people. India's economy is not yet that much, it's somewhere close to that, but for 1.3 billion people. So why is it… See, affluence means this. Why does an individual person seek affluence, or why does a society seek affluence? Initially, it is a question of nourishment. See, if you are getting… what's your currency? Currency?
Euros.
Euro, okay, I'm sorry. So let us say you're earning only 10 euros per day. I know you don't, but I'm just saying. You're earning 10 euros per day and you are eating just whatever meager meals that were there. Then your dream is, if I earn 20 euros per day, I can eat better. This is an aspiration within the human being. So initially, it is a question of better nourishment. Later, it is a question of variety of lifestyles that people choose. This is why affluence is sought after both by individuals, societies and nations. So the most affluent nation on the planet, which has a whole variety of choices of nourishment and enormous choices about lifestyle, spends $3.25 trillion on healthcare for 350 million people. That is a statement on what you're eating.
So, can we now go on to the next question? Okay, thank you. Okay, the woman in the green over there, she's ready. Yeah!
Woo! Hi everyone! Sorry, I have so much energy. Always. The question is going to be very simple.
Don't threaten us like that, just tell the question.
So, I don't have many followers, I don't have much of money. I'm going home and I'm thinking, what is the thing I can do for this? What is the thing I can do to help to save the soil? Let's say I have no garden, I have no many friends, there is only 20 people watching me on Instagram, so not really point. What can I actually do?
You said you have so much energy. We could definitely use that. Well, do whatever. In your neighborhood, do a jig. Initially, people will think, what's wrong with her? After some time, kids will come and dance with you. Tell them, just go and tell your parents, they must talk about this. Go to a school and do the jig, they will love you. The adults have become like this. If they look at this person, what race is he, what religion is he, what nationality is he, what nonsense is he, you know, we are looking at every damn way to see how we can separate one human being from the other. You can call it a nation, you can call it a race, you can call it religion, you can call it caste, creed, class, philosophy, ideology. But one way or the other, we are trying to find somehow ways of splitting up people. Once you do this, conflict is just a step away. Hello? Conflict is just a step away. When will it happen? It will happen sometime. And organized conflict, it's not like two people fought. It's going to be my group versus your group, my nation versus your nation, my religion versus your religion, my race versus your race. Oh, this is a massive fight, all right? It's been happening. So right now, soil is one unifying force. You may not understand the cosmic consciousness, how it unites the whole universe. Leave that, it's far away. At least you understand, this very body that you carry is soil. We eat off the soil. When we die, we go back to the soil. The only point is, will we get it now or when we bury it? This is all the point. So once you have gotten the point, and if you have energy, as you said…
Like this, too much, sorry.
There's nothing as too much, huh? When it comes to energy, there's nothing like too much.
I don't know.
If you have lot of energy, you may have lot, but it's not too much, it's never too much. Because as life is just this, a combination of time and energy. You have certain amount of time, certain amount of energy. Yes? What else do you have? As you sit here, time is slipping away for all of us at the same speed. I can't say, I am a yogi, let me slow down my time. It doesn't work like that. I have been petitioning for a long time to give me a few extra hours per day. No response. Only 24 hours, and it goes at the same speed. In your experience, you can slow it down or hasten it. See, on a certain day, you're very joyful. 24 hours went off like a moment. Another day you're a little depressed. One day feels like a year or a eon, depends on how depressed you are. So time is a relative experience in that sense. So now you need to understand the only way you can make your life impactful and effective is to enhance the energy, because time, nothing you can do, it just rolls. For everybody, as you see, from the time you came here, from the time I came here and sat here, all of us are about an hour and a half closer to our graves. Yes, it's a fact, you better know this. If you know this, you will organize your life in a sensible manner. If you do not know this, you will do silly things which don't mean a damn thing to you or to anybody around you, simply all kinds of things. If you really knew you're racing towards your grave, do you have time to get angry with somebody, quarrel with somebody, do some nonsense with somebody, wage a war with somebody? Do you have time for all these things? People come and tell me, Sadhguru, this enemy, I can't bear him, what to do? I said, hey, just wait, he will die. You don't have to do anything, you just wait, either he will die or you will die. Both ways the problem will be solved. So now you have lot of energy, time is very limited. So how to employ it? Well, each human being has to do it in their own way. So you don't have social media following, link up with somebody. Carice, am I getting it right?
Yes.
I got it. I was afraid I'll say her name wrong. I won't try his. So, I'm sure Carice has a following. Link up to that and every day say, save soil, do something, pick up one fact from the website and keep saying it. People will think you're a soil scientist in 3 days. And I will tell Carice to retweet you if you tweet something sensible. I'm saying go and request people, I'm saying at this time if you don't talk to people, at this time if you're shy of doing something, I'm telling you in 20 years' time, we will be a very regretful generation. Please, let's not go there.
It would make you also a very sad guru, right?
No.
That's my joke, that was my joke. I wanted to put
That's not a joke.
I wanted to tie that on.
That's not a joke.
That was the
Are
bad
you a
joke.
sad guru?
Sadhguru means an uneducated guru. That doesn't mean sad. Just tell me, generally, most educated people, you usually are in the universities. If you go into the universities, I see such long faces, you know. I was speaking at the Princeton University. If I tell them a joke, they agree with me. Whatever I do. Then I say, why are all these people, except about 4 or 5 people, young people, boys and girls who are like in their early 20s, all others are like this. I said, why are all these people over 30 years of age carrying such long faces? What's the matter? Then one lady stands up and seriously says, they're all married.
Okay, I think it's about time for maybe the last or maybe 2 questions. That depends on the length of your answer, so I think it will be the last question. There's like the balcony, and people can raise their hands as well because there's a microphone.
There's a little girl here also.
There's one, I don't know if it's a girl.
Those are in the upper regions, please. Those are in the upper regions of…
Yeah.
There's a little 5-year-old here.
The mic is coming.
Please.
We give the mic to her?
Yeah, but first let her do the question. Yeah,
I don't know if this is gonna interfere.
No, it won't.
No.
I have something for you.
Yes, ma'am.
I have this for you.
What to do? I have to try and take this, right? Ooh. Oh, this is a pistachio, it's just for me. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
How did you know I need some nourishment right now?
Okay, there's the question.
Yes. Hello, Namaskaram Sadhguru.
Where are you?
I'm here, over here. Up here.
They're upstairs.
Upstairs,
Oh,
in the light.
Yeah.
Hello. I have a question. You've been speaking a lot about the big things that need to change in the world, considering this problem, soil. So the big impact is going to happen with the big players. But my question is about where is the balance between individual responsibility and the responsibility of the big companies, governments. So my question is basically, is it just as valid to invest my energy in making directly soil better by, for example, buying land and learning how to farm properly? Or is it better to invest my energy in changing the big players in the world, which is not something in my direct control, but of course, since we're a democracy, it's there's some kind of influence. So my question is how to manage this balance between individual responsibility and the big companies that have a big role in things.
Yes. If that lock is about locking up your heart, you must unlock that, you know.
This one. This is the Dialinga pendant. So I'm not on lock, I'm open, I'm free.
That's good. So, right now, the situation is this. I didn't want to tell you this, but now you asked this question. So in the last 10 days, we have already 6 nations from the Caribbean region signing up for the soil regeneration program. And another 8 nations are on the way. In the next probably couple of weeks that'll happen. And just in the last 24 hours, we have the Commonwealth nations coming on board, Commonwealth, the Office of the Commonwealth has come forward and said they will enroll into this process of soil regeneration. There are 54 nations in this Commonwealth, and so these 54 nations account for 2.5 billion people on the planet. That's the population of these nations. So they are coming through, and there is a Chogam meeting. No, that's not an eatable, and the Chogam is a conference, okay? That's not a food, I'm saying. Sounds like that. So there is a conference in Rwanda. When I'm completing my 100 days there in that conference in Rwanda. And before that, on the 10th of May, I will be in Ivory Coast where COP15 meeting is happening. That is under the aegis of UNCCD, that is the UN Agency for Combating Desertification. 170 nations are participating. I'm speaking there, and the Secretary General of UNCCD is 100% with this. They have come on board with us after seeing the success of Kaveri Calling, how we have implemented this on the ground, large scale. So, most probably, all these 170 nations will move in that direction. The real question or the problematic question is the pace. Which country will move at what pace? This pace depends on, one thing is the determination of the individual nation's leadership, and another is the economic conditions of a given nation, and another is certain agricultural practices or traditions which are already there, which are some of them are very disruptive. Touching them with large segments of population could be a political issue for some of the national leaders. Another thing is the distractions. Right now, EU, you are part of EU has postponed regenerative agricultural measures which they were about to announce in the next 2 months by 2 years because of Ukraine. Well, Ukraine, unfortunately, what's happening is happening. You don't have to stop this, but now this is postponed because in many ways, this is all it takes. A little distraction, and we will postpone vital actions that are needed on the planet. Continuously this has been happening, not today, it's been happening for 20, 30 years. Every nation, just one excuse, they will postpone it. One excuse, they will postpone it. I think the people who live here must put a little pressure that you don't have to postpone it by 2 years because there is an Ukrainian war. Yes, it's an unfortunate situation, but that's got nothing to do with this. We are still eating, we are still breathing, hello? We are doing everything else, but vital things that we need to do, we won't do. We must do, it's very important. Especially now that a lot of food was coming from that country, and now because of that war and disruption, maybe I don't know how many years it will take for that country to recoup, because I'll forgive 20th century because 20th century was full of blundering idiots, they had 2 world wars and endless number of wars all over the world. We thought 21st century will be free from that. But nations which have been bombed out in 21st century are nowhere near recovery after 8, 10, 12 years' time. Hello? Yes or no? Nowhere near recovery at all. So, probably this also is the same story. It will not recover just like that, because once you destroy everything that people have, disrupt people's lives, they coming back and boom, building it back. It's not like that. A nation cannot be built like that. So this is very important, we don't move towards destruction. Once you move, building back is not an overnight job. That goes for soil also. If you destroy soil like he was quoting in the beginning, 1 inch of soil to create 1 inch of soil, it takes 500 years. What is your lifespan, I would like to know? 52% of the world's topsoil is gone already, you know. 30% of United States topsoil is gone, 30%. Gone, not there. Where did it go? You've heard about the dust balls in United States? The dust bowls? So massive, millions and millions of tons of soil took off because these are very fragile prairie lands. These are… the United States, the western part of United States is a large-scale grassland, very fragile. Only when those grasses were there, when animals were there, this was managed. The moment you started plowing, the winds blow very, very hard in this region because it's a plain land without any mountain structures, nothing. From the ocean it just blows. So when this happened, millions of tons of soil landed in New York City. So people are still talking about it. So I was there and somebody was saying, I don't remember the number, they said some millions of tons of sand and soil ended up in New York City. I said, see, you are only calculating the amount of soil that gathered and your problems of clearing that soil from New York City. The soil stopped here because of tall buildings and lot of construction. But what about maybe 100 or 1,000 times more soil which went and landed in Atlantic? It definitely would have, right? A city stopped a little bit of it, which is humongous amount. But what was not stopped, what went into the ocean is a countless amount of soil. So that is… in that we lost 30% of the soil of a nation of that size. So, this is… there are excuses and excuses. So about your question, she's individual, should I buy land, fix it? Don't go that way. I have done plenty of that, still doing. Kaveri Calling is operative in 83,000 square kilometers, 5.2 million farmers live and work here. This kind of work kills you, okay? Really. You have to raise funds and raise funds and raise funds, planting trees, organizing people, endlessly. It goes on and on. Last 25 years, in various forms it's been happening. We've just planted, what is this last year? About 67 million trees, living trees. But no. See, we have removed billions and billions of trees. Now 67 million trees don't need a clap. It needs a slap. But this is all we can do, unfortunately. So I'm telling you, this is why it entering the government policy is most vital, because only if it's in the policy, the government machinery leans in that direction. The budgets of the nations will lean in that direction. Only then real things will happen. If you do individually, you may do it for your satisfaction, but it'll never be a solution. If industries and business do it, they will do it little large scale, they could set very large scale good examples like we are setting up good examples, but it still will be only an example. Not that it does not do any good, it does lot of good, but it's not a global solution. Right now we are at a point where there is no time for these kind of projects and stuff. We need a clear policy change. The only policy we are asking is how you do it. We are not telling any government, we are just suggesting these are all the 100 different ways in which you can regenerate your soil. But the only thing we are asking is to pass on soil in its living condition for next generation. That means minimum 3 to 6% organic content must be there in the soil before you and me die. Hello? All over the world. It's getting very serious. Can I tell them a joke? Is it okay?
Maybe some famous last words? Yeah, it's the end of the evening. Maybe you have some famous last words? Yeah,
okay.
Jokes are also good, I just hear.
You want to say?
No, I did my joke. That's all I had.
This happened in 2060, no? a few scientists sought appointment with God. They got it and they went there and they said, "Hey old man, you've done pretty well with creation. But today everything that you can do, we can also do. It's time you retire." God said, "Oh, is that so? What is it that you can do?" They dug up a little soil, made it into a vague shape of a human child and did all kinds of things, and in a few minutes, the child made those noises. Okay? That girl is providing me background. The child came alive. God said, "That's very impressive, but first get your own soil."
Ladies and gentlemen, Sadhguru, Carice van Houten, thank you so much for your time.
That is Soiland.
Yeah. So this is a big thing. It's just day 2 of this great trip you're going to do, and there is like an anthem for the next couple of.
So this is only day 2. Another 98 days of ride is there. In case I don't make it, the young people here, you must walk these 30,000 kilometers and make it happen.
That's the story. And can you tell us something about we're going to watch like a small video about the anthem? Is that like the music for you?
This soil anthem is made, so many musicians around the world are making their own pieces, but those things did not come in time. So we just, the in-house group, we just got together and made this simple tune. I think right now it's reverberating around the world. Just make sure it falls into every ear, every human ear at least. Don't disturb the others.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for your time and listening. It's really time to make a picture. We do it in both ways, so you can share and talk about soil, because if that's what we learned, the last couple of minutes is, let's talk about it and share the love of the soil, and share it on social media. SaveSoil.org is the website.
Hey, give me all the…
Oh, it's even in Dutch.
Is soil. My body, your body, everybody is just soil body. The magic of soil is it turns death into life. Depleted soils will not quench the fire of hunger. Unquenched hunger can burn the very world. This is a generational responsibility. Save soil. Let's make it happen.